Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hey, John,
I.
can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, so good to speak to you. What time is it in England right now?
12:34 in the morning. Well, afternoon.
In the morning?
Well, no, in the afternoon.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's good. So it's Saturday
Yeah.
and Brexit has happened. Oh my God.
Yeah.
How are you doing? Are you going to live through this? I mean, they say it's anticlimactic, but
Yeah.
I don't think that anyone's prepared yet for what's going to happen slowly. So, what should I tell my listeners about this when I go on bandwidth tomorrow night? What do you think is, what are your observations? What do you think should be the most important thing to emphasize about this?
Well, I mean, everybody was like, the Brexiteers were all excited all this week, right up until Friday, obviously the day of Brexit, and then on Friday, this sort of the excitement like evaporated, and actually, it was like they started realizing it's really not that exciting, and
There you go.
yeah,
Reality sank back in,
yeah,
and they had to go back to work if they had a
exactly.
job at all.
Nothing's changing, and what is there to be excited about? A bunch of paperwork, really.
Yeah.
I was in a pub over Brexit. I thought, well, it's going to go two ways. Either it would be like a massive sort of like party riot in town, or it would just be sort of like a damp squib. Just be like. That's what it turned out to be. The pub
Good.
the pub I was in, it had like sort of like best entertainment I could find was like one guy on an acoustic guitar. Literally, that was all it was. And he disappeared for like 20 minutes as well doing his set. And I was like, oh my god, he's been
Oh my
kidnapped.
God.
And 11 o'clock came. 11 o'clock came and went. We had it on the screen, like the whole Brexit thing. I don't know even know if Big Ben actually bonged. It might have gone bong once or something before the bell was shattered or whatever. Because I wouldn't be surprised if it actually worked. He probably just had some really fat woman just shout bong.
Right.
Because
Right.
there was that girl that said she was going to do the bongs for Big Ben.
Oh my God.
Because they took
Oh,
it's in for repairs, so it was totally anticlimactic. I mean, people didn't even notice Brexit had gone, well, been executed, whatever, until about 20 minutes past 11. 20 minutes afterwards, it was like, oh, that was Brexit. There's just, not a single party popper went off. Nobody cheered.
yeah. Oh, shit. I mean, that's pathetic.
Yeah.
It's truly pathetic.
Uh,
And like that's the way it should be, of course, because it's so stupid. The whole thing is so stupid.
yeah.
But beyond that, of course, over this coming year, you know what's going to happen. There's going to be shortages. There's going to be an inability to. Well, I guess it'll take a while for that to set in because I guess what are the Europeans going to do? I mean, things are. I mean, what's going to happen in Ireland? I mean, things. But the Irish and the Scottish might, like I said, try to secede and stay in Europe. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, things are going to start happening throughout this year, right?
Yeah. Guy Verhoost, or whatever how you say his name, Verhoost or something.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't know.
the guy I mean with the centre parting anyway. He was like having to go at Nigel Farage about how he was absolutely crap at his job as in the fisheries because he's like an MEP, Nigel Farage, and how the British media wouldn't report that he's really lazy. It doesn't work. He's crap at his job and all this sort of thing. And he's like, the British media is not going to report this. But he posted this video, and it was like, what's this? I was thinking, and because I thought I was going to be like how Europe's going to be so much better off without Britain or something like that. Just a bunch of like European people but dancing and stuff. But it was this woman. It was this woman with a Irish voice, and it turned out it was about Ireland and the EU. So it's like, okay, they've already sort of like got their hooks into the EU's already got their hooks into Ireland, and they probably, if he's confident enough that he's posting videos about it, I think they're probably quite confident they're going to end up getting Ireland, or at least Northern Ireland, or whatever. So that's something for the Brits to not look forward to. They're islands that get like eaten away by the EU, but I mean, they got nobody to blame but themselves. And Scotland, of course, is Scotland, of course, as well.
And that's right. I just think that it's going to be a nightmare, but people are going to gradually realize this as the year progresses, and then there's going to be shortages with stuff that was coming out of Europe.
Yeah,
it's just going to get more and more hard to get. But so I was just looking. Of course, you came up with this a few days ago, and you were kind enough to enter a comment on the DDD timeline that was set up by Maria Michaela Grigorich.
Okay.
And you said its own form of infotainment. Said, which is kind. I understand you're coming from a positive. I was wondering, because that's a lot of people don't actually kind of understand necessarily where you're coming from. It's not. I think most people would probably take it for the positive, but I was wondering if you could maybe change that to something like I don't know, something like pioneering educational or pioneering edutainment. You might say that pioneering edutainment, or pioneering edutainment as a new form of information warfare. How's that? Pioneering edutainment. If you could just change the statement to something like that.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
makes it a little better than.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know what to write. I mean, the other one I wrote was even worse, and it was just like, how do I do that? It was like,
What was it?
I can't even remember. It was just something so bland. I was just like testing myself, and it was just like, it just came up with this bland statement. I was like,
Oh, well, I appreciate your saying something. So let me write this down here.
Okay, if you send me a link, I can do it right now.
A pioneer. Oh, well, here, I'm just writing it down.
Okay, yeah.
I'll send you the link.
Yeah.
Edutainment as a pioneering form of edutainment in the age of information warfare. Here we are in the age of information warfare, like that. And now let me get you the link. I'm going to get you the link now to the DDD timeline. And it's how do I say it? It's ouch, kind of a stupid. Facebook is so fucked up. Instagram is owned by Facebook. And It's so disgusting because, that idiot Mark Zuckerberg knows that Facebook is basically becoming a land of old ladies showing pictures of their cats and a bunch of old men putting up MAGA and UKIP bullshit. So he's like basically what he's doing now is he set up Instagram, and that's how he reaches the kids, is through Instagram. So I put the link there in the Douglas Dietrich messages, so hopefully you can see that.
Yeah.
And if you can't see it, let me know. Yeah. And actually, when you try to communicate with me, I am curious, why do you do it through the various public community fan pages? Because it actually makes it harder for me to interact with you. When you communicate with me, try to do it here in this message. I'll set up something stupid.
Yeah. I can't believe that they don't understand that, but people are just dense as fuck. So.
In terms of yourself, you have a lot of photographs of yourself, of course, so people know you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So with what I was going to say was that so here we are. Until I get a new personal friends page set up, well, hopefully it'll be sometime soon during this Asian Lunar New Year, where of course all the people in China are dying now.
Yeah.
And have you got any cases over there in England? Any of this fucking coronavirus showing up in England?
No, I don't think so. They're very isolated. Adam Curry on NoAgenda was saying he thinks it might be sort of like a race-specific virus. And I posted a link to how many races there are in China. There's obviously 57. There's like the Han race. And
Thank you. See, most of these idiots are so ignorant they think China's all one race.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're very astute.
I posted it on his personal chat channel and all other places. Yeah, so I did a comment. It's like Heinz baked beans because there's 57
Yeah,
varieties.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's sort of an old joke, sort of true sort of thing. But yeah. So it's quite interesting. So I'm imagining it might only take out certain races of Chinese. So if you play sort of mixed race, it might affect you. But I don't think. I also said on the show, I said just let it take effect. If it's only going to wipe out one race, just let it carry on. I was like, that's the way of the Tao. It's it'd be the Taoist thing to do.
Well, the African swine fever, like I said, sourced out of Russia, which is bizarre. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, originally it sourced out of Africa, but the wave that hit China and killed a third of its pig population came out of Russia. So
Mm.
it does seem to be probably a bioweapon,
Yeah.
probably Putin covering his ass because the Chinese would otherwise overwhelm, Russia and Asia.
Sure.
And so, yeah, it seems quite logical to me that it would be that a kind of preemptive strike.
Yeah.
But
It could be just sort of like a way of reducing the population. It's like China's got so many people. They're like, well, this particular race of Chinese is totally useless. We can't like abide them anymore, so we'll just wipe them out.
well, in terms of but the problem is, if it were that, the Chinese government may not even survive it. I think that there would
All right.
be a rebellion. People think,
Yeah.
don't you think? I
Um.
think that there's going to be.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I have read that they've managed to reproduce the coronavirus, so I think that means it's got a very limited lifetime now. Because
Okay, but
yeah,
that you mean you feel that now that they've reproduced it, that they might come up with a vaccine,
yeah,
right?
yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the vaccine would. Yeah, the vaccine might help, but at the same time, it would be too late. Vaccines don't help once you have the disease.
Oh, I see. I see what you
So
mean.
it's gonna be too.
Well, can't they spray it from
Yeah.
planes and
So it'd be,
stuff? Wouldn't they be able to spray it from planes and stuff like that?
well, it doesn't really work that way.
Okay,
It's like,
it's got to be
for
injected.
instance, when yeah,
Okay,
and
okay,
yeah, that's why I was always talking to people about the silliness of. A lot of people don't understand this, but if you take a look at, say, for instance, crop dusters. You've seen crop dusters,
yeah,
and if you ever take a look at how low they have to fly, crop dusters have to fly really low just to, like, kill bugs on top of lettuce leaves and cabbage heads and shit.
yeah,
They fly, yeah. So if someone were to even attempt to try and vaccinate a population, first they'd have to get the population to line up
yeah,
as if they were rows of cabbage, as if they were in a field, and kind of just breathe in while they, flew very low overhead and, spray. It's just so inefficient. It's just
yeah,
not gonna
yeah,
work.
yeah.
Um,
Or
so
send out thousands of drones with needles that they fire at the people.
there you go.
Fire like
Good idea.
hypodermic syringes. Yeah, because you shoot it and it would inject, wouldn't it, when it hits?
Yeah, that
So
would
there you
be.
go.
Well, I mean, you remember? Yeah. Well, in World War One, the problem with that. Do you remember in World War One, when they were really primitive and they hadn't even developed yet synchronizers, meaning the machine guns that they would fire from a biplane in World War One would actually just shred their propellers.
Yeah,
So they had to ultimately develop a synchronizer that would synchronize the firearm with the motion of the propeller so that it wouldn't shred its own blades and therefore the plane would fall out of the sky. So until they developed that, they were doing all kinds of bizarre bullshit with the planes. They would fly overhead and literally by hand drop bombs. I mean, you know this.
yeah,
And then in World War One, one of the things they did was they dropped darts, and because of the height and because of gravity, by the time that the darts, which were weighted on the end, they were kind of like the pub darts, except that they were more weighted towards the needle end, and that way the needle end was always pointing down, and the fins would stabilize it. And these
sure.
were like horrible things. They were kind of, yeah, the gravity would, by the time it hit a man on the ground, it would just go right through his helmet.
Yeah,
The sheer
yeah,
inertia, the gravity, everything else. So if they were to try and do that with drones, of course, they just wind up basically killing everybody.
Well, I mean, it
World War One.
just little plastic ones with little needles. I mean, that's all you
Oh,
need.
I get it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. Of course, it's safe.
Inject like yeah, so micro CCs or something. What do they call them? Auto injectors, I think.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Fascinating idea. I mean, but in terms of what's going to happen is, first they had, like I said, the trade war started in
Mm.
the year of the dog. Then the African swine fever hit in the year of the pig, and now we've got the year of the rat, and they've got this plague.
Yeah.
So I'd be surprised if the Communist Chinese Party survived this. It's just the population is going to think that they're so totally incompetent they might just finally overthrow them.
Mm. Mm.
The potential's there for that, and that would be fascinating because then it'd be interesting to see what Hong Kong would do. I mean, if the Communist Chinese regime collapsed, it would be interesting because the Brits are just so, they're trying to go their own way. Would they be willing to say, for instance, if Hong Kong said, okay, the Communist Party's gone, we want to declare total independence or get some protection from Britain? You wonder if the Brits would even respond. They seem so, it's hard to tell what direction they're going in or what they're
Yeah.
going to do next.
Yeah, yeah. I guess basically they're like sort of like sitting on on the floor like a mushroom with their hands over there. There it is.
I was drinking hot tea and it all went up my nose.
Sorry. Yeah, that's the sort of British attitude. It's like
Yes, yes. Oh, they're apathetic. It's awful, and that's
sort of
all.
apathetic and withdrawn, like sort of like mental patients. Don't want to
Yes,
think.
yes, yes. Well, yeah, it's like, well, the choices are so terrible. It was like you said, you made up the mind for George Knight. I don't know if you know this, but George Knight had asked who to vote for, and you responded basically that there was no choice. You weren't even going to vote, and so he took that attitude. And then pretty much all of the younger British people took that attitude, and that's why Bojo the Clown won by a landslide. Was simply none of the young people were voting.
Yeah.
Of course, Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah, I mean,
Choice,
yeah, he would have been worse.
yeah.
So I mean, it's no slight against me at all. I mean, it's like what you wouldn't want Jeremy Corbyn, and he'd be like voting for the Bolshevik Jews. you know,
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Did you know this? Yeah. Did you know Bernie Sanders that if he becomes president, Bernie Sanders not only a doctrinaire communist, but he would be America's first Jewish president.
Okay.
It's like he's just like Jeremy Corbyn. It's just either side of the Atlantic. We've got these stupid choices.
Yeah.
It's like there is no choice. It's how did it come to this? Oh, there you have that. Oh, so what? How come that Jeremy Corbyn didn't even quit? He should have at least had the decency to fucking, leave the party. But no, he's just sitting there. And what does the left intend to do?
Yeah, he did say he was going to quit. Yeah. Yeah, he said he was going to quit,
He did?
but yeah, he said he was going to quit. But I thought he had. But I don't mind. They haven't got any
Yeah,
alternative.
I don't think he did. Let me take a look. Let's look up Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn and see if the fucker has even quit.
Well, he said he was going to quit. Time of the election. After the election results were announced, yeah.
Yeah, and he looks like a fucking train wreck. Jeremy Bernard
He's
Corbyn.
awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's looked like somebody's going to die. He looks like somebody's going to die any moment. As well.
Thank you. Yes, he does.
It's like in the middle of a speech, he'd be like,
Yeah, like he's gonna die in the middle of a speech.
Yeah.
I think he's still in. I think he's still in charge of labor.
it's
Honestly,
ridiculous.
I think he's.
There's nobody else that's
Yeah.
even interested enough. Yeah. It's people can't even think. I mean, they're just like in Britain. That's why I call them Brits. I mean, it's like people of the covenant. They're all like tied to this contract. Yeah, a covenant with the devil or something. It's just like I've never pledged allegiance to the Queen or anything like that, but I think these people have. And just like the Queen, Queen Elizabeth, her name's derived from Lilith. The mother of all demons. So it's no.
I've been trying to find out. I know that there are rival claims to the throne.
All right.
For the British.
Yeah.
Do you know anything, or could you send me any links about the legitimate claimants? I'm not talking about delusional people. I mean, there's plenty of delusional people out there
Yeah.
who say they should be, a member of the royal family or something like that. But I mean, historically, there should be, like, I know there's the one guy in Australia. You remember that? There's the one guy in Australia who can make a legitimate claim to the throne of England. I mean, there's got to be other
Oh yeah,
people like that. And if you could send me any links about people like that, that would be interesting because, it would just be interesting to know that Britain had alternatives to, the Windsor family
yeah.
that's on there now for all the reasons you said. It's so dreary. This whole situation. Um,
I mean, I don't know how legitimate they are or how crazy they are. I've got those two women. One of them's supposedly related to. Oh, I can't remember. They're both sort of like contenders for the throne or whatever. Peggy Childers is like more of Queen Victoria's side, and Emily Elizabeth Windsor Craig is well, she says she's more royal than Queen Elizabeth, but she's like, according to my research, that doesn't really mean that much.
Interesting. No,
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, that makes sense too. Yeah, that makes sense too. Like you said, they're all kind of Greek ultimately. Well,
yeah,
they're like
exactly.
German by the way of Greece or something like that. Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I
And
like did
and
a bit of research
what
into
about
their
that?
lineage, and I can't find actual any proper legitimate claims of German ancestry unless you want to go back hundreds of years, which is ridiculous. That's like find my ancestor or something.
Interesting.
It's just when you go back and you find out, oh, well, I'm sort of like related to somebody that Jesus spoke to, or something like that. It's like, how are you going to prove that? Because I mean, obviously they alter the historical records as much as they can get away with. Um, so
True.
yeah, I think Queen Elizabeth's her descendants, like she the nearest she got to being a German was being her German ancestry was having being a handmaid for a German noble. I mean, that's the nearest I found. She gave
Interesting.
one of her yeah one of her descendants gave a hand job to a
Okay.
German or something like that.
That's actually not too different from my claim to relationship to Adolf Hitler with my mom. Really, I mean, it's on that level as far as
Yeah,
assertion goes. Uh, let's see now. In terms of, I'll check into these. Emily Elizabeth Windsor Cragg and Peggy Childers. That's interesting.
yeah,
But yeah, they both sound just by their names. The fact that they're both women as well sounds rather odd to me.
yeah, yeah,
I know most of the time the people who have the legitimate claims, usually it tends to be a man only in the sense that way they can claim the lineage from the woman. I tend to find that usually the women who make these claims, they seem to be like these old biddies who have nothing else going on in their lives. It's very
yeah,
bizarre.
yeah,
It's very
yeah.
sad.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a little
um,
delusion they have. It's like, oh, it's fun. And then people go along with it, and it's just sort of like, oh, keeps her happy, sort of thing. I know.
right, right, yes, but
I always do the blood lineage from the male, the father, and stuff like that. Apparently, if you're Jewish, and
yes,
it's more important than about the mother, but I don't give a shit about Jews. To be honest with you,
thank you.
I
No,
mean,
I get it. I get it.
uh,
I,
uh,
I agree. I
yeah,
agree. It's bizarre. It's bizarre
yeah.
that whole thing. What about the
Now, obviously, the king is more
are you
important than the
when
queen.
I right, right,
Yeah,
yeah, normally, yes, yes, for the royal house.
yeah,
I was gonna say the when I mention your name on air when I'm transmitting and I say John Henry II McMills Warrington,
yeah.
is that something you want me to change in any way or is that okay?
Possibly take off the two, but because when
Okay,
my
take
mum,
off.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, just John Henry McMills Warrington, because that's quite verifiable. But like when I had to do, my mum had to do some sort of like proof of birth or something or other, certificate of existence or something for work to see if I was like supposed to be deported or whatever. As a foreigner who's like with descendants who's lived in
okay.
in England,
I right.
compared to some Pakistani that's oh yes, he obviously lives here. He obviously English Pakistani man. Oh yeah, was bloody hell. Um, and so she wrote my dad's name as John Mills. So there was no Henry written. I was like, I don't know if she ran out of time writing those two words, or, or if that's his proper name. So I can't really say I've John Henry II because I don't know if he was John Henry. But obviously, yeah, I am descendant of John Mills, so that makes me
Interesting.
John Henry
Right.
McMills, whatever. Yeah, and the Mook is obviously just to emphasise the Mills side of the family. The Warrington is just like my mum remarried, so Warrington's added on. So it's sort of trivial, but it's just a sort of fun name. Means like eternal warrior and all that sort of thing. Lots of fights.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Well, warring and ton, heavy fighting and all that sort of thing.
Well, right, right. Well, that's definitely the struggle is always there. So at least that part they got down.
Yeah, yeah.
And well, is there something that you want me to emphasize about the Maggot channel when I'm burning bandwidth? I'm talking about the channel. Is there anything in particular you want me to emphasize, or anything you want me to bring up in particular that you want people to see? Maybe the Parkinson's disease video or something like that, or whatever comes to mind that you think is important for me to stress.
Not really. I mean, the Maggot channel is just something I do for fun. So it's not. There's nothing of huge importance. You could possibly mention the Brexit video I did. I think that's still on that channel, isn't it? Should be. That 10
I
out.
hope so.
Yeah.
God, I hope so.
Yeah. I was somebody linked to it in NoAgenda chat room the other day. So yeah. So that's something. I mean, that a lot of people. What I was saying in the chat room is like before I made that video, there wasn't a single Brexit documentary out. And that was in 2019. Yeah, 2 years in because yeah, I was saying that, and like the British media have been told to shut up about Brexit, and they've all gone and agreed with it, and also they also really want people to believe that the Greek British royalty are German for some reason. Well, I've heard off the bird sort of thing that somebody decided that they must be German because German sounds quite frightening. I was like, okay, you're you're a grown woman, grown middle-aged woman. That is Janet Swerdlow, apparently. That's why she's insistent that they're German. It's very insistent. They're German, German. It's like,
You're talking about Sverdlow, who's the wife of. You're talking about
Stuart,
the wife of, Stuart Sverdlow.
Yeah. She's quite insistent that they're German. Yeah, they're German. They're German. It's like, how are you trying to fool? Fucking Queen level mind control's not going to work on me. Not all the time, but that's what she's trying to do. Trying to, yes, they're definitely German. Well, when they got no German ancestry, how am I supposed to believe that? It's fucking basics. you know?
Yeah.
I might as well say that it's more credible if they're Martian.
Right. Yes. That's true. Did you hear that? Well, what's his name? John. Oh, fuck. What is his name? The guy who's supposed to be writing with me, writing a book with me. I can't even remember. Peter Moon.
Peter Moon.
Yeah, that's not even his real name. His real name. Yeah, he's got some Croatian name, really.
All right. Yeah.
His real name is some kind of Croatian.
That's so funny.
And
it's funny because Pete. Oh, sorry, Karen. Peter is Peter's a name that I associate with deception because you've heard of Peter Steele, obviously, of Typo Negative. Ton as in Warrington. Yeah. I mean, I think he had his appearance altered for his whole life to try and look like me. And I don't think he had naturally green eyes, but in one of his videos, he's got green eyes. And his actual real name isn't Peter Steele at all. It's something totally different. It's like a Croatian name or something. So it's like, why? Why would you do this? Why would you go to such a fuss and write stupid ballads about women, and they don't even add up. They don't even realistic. There's one song he wrote where he turns into a werewolf and he drinks women's menstrual blood. It's just written so poorly. And the last song on this last album, he committed suicide or he died in his sleep or some crap like that. Was all about British royalty.
In his album or in real life?
In real life. Yeah, he died of a heroin overdose or something. They covered it up. He died in his mid-40s or something. He wasn't that old. But in his last album, one of the videos they had was like Rasputin wrapped up in a carpet and they're kicking him. And yeah,
You're right. He looks exactly like you.
Yeah.
He looks like you.
Looks like he wants to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And oh my God, he died in 2010, almost 10 years ago. I mean, the band Typo Negative. Oh my fucking God.
Yeah.
Gothic metal, doom metal, thrash metal. Is you sure this isn't like a brother of yours?
No, he's sort of like an image. Yeah, it could be, but he's got some like Croatian name. That's not his real name. I thought he was like Italian. He acts like Italian when he's on stage. Well, he was like early on in his career, he was all hair tossing and stuff. Like he's 6'7", apparently. Like,
Yeah.
did gain a few inches after he died. It seems.
Right. Right.
The,
Oh my God. That's funny. That's
yeah,
true. Yes.
yeah. Just
Yeah.
mysteriously, there's so many lies about him. And it was like, oh, he taught some child to play guitar, and he's always doing this stuff, and but all the stuff I've seen of him, he's goofing off. And obviously, like looking at as he does, he was sort of made to be on TV, and he's such a poser. It's just outrageous. I mean, hair tossing, eye rolling, yeah, does the whole thing, and he's got this like deep bass voice, and he rolls his R's and he's all the time. So you'd think he'd be like, dead cert to be on pun intended, to be on TV, as a vampire and stuff like that. And he has got the extended teeth as well. He's got extended
Right.
fangs. He actually had fang
Right.
extensions.
Right. The canines. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So he like yeah, his Croatian name was Ratahik. Or Ratahik.
That's it. Yeah,
Ratahik or
rat
something
boy.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, there we are. Peter Thomas Ratahik, known professionally as Peter Steele. Oh my God. Well, I never even knew of this guy. I see a puckered anus. I see a big puckered anus on the cover
Yeah,
of his
yeah.
album.
Origin of the
Origin of
Feces.
the Feces.
Yeah, yeah. He
Yes. Oh
had
my
a weird.
fucking God.
It's a weird sense of humour. It's like I used to say to girls, like, they talk about him because obviously he's supposed to be like big pussy magnet, but I've never seen anybody so desperate to be funny. And it's trying to be a gothic band, and it's like it just like comes up with the worst sort of cracks, wise cracks, whatever. And it was like, he goes, one of the interviewers asked him, some of your songs are a bit cheeky, and it's like, well, you might want to wonder like what cheek we're coming out of. Was it upper or lower? It's like, what the fuck? This is such a crap line.
Well,
It's like, wash your mouth out or something. That's such a bad thing to say. It's just really tactless, whatever. Really sort of like, I'll say any crap joke. It's just like, somebody saying that in a club or something, and be like, oh my god. So,
right.
sorry, oh my god.
Another
Oh my
thing,
god. Oh.
right. Another thing that this Tommy Wiseau, the guy who did that movie, The Room, that stupid movie that was just a big, shitty movie.
Yeah.
Tommy Wiseau, they're saying that he's Peter Steele secretly. That Peter Steele is secretly this guy, but of course it's not because this guy's much shorter.
Okay.
And they're saying that they both, yeah, they say they both look like Christopher Walken.
Okay.
They both, well, Tommy. Yeah, it's just all weird.
It is weird. It is
So,
weird. Because I mean, my face has like grown over my life. I mean, I sort of knew what I was going to look like because of Space Sentinels. If you see the face on Space Sentinels, it's like the 1970s cartoon. I saw that as a child, and I was like, oh, that's going to be me when I grow up. I want a face like that, and sort of
I'll
like
take a look.
predictive,
I'll take
yeah, predictive DNA programming.
Sentinels, you're talking about the big blonde guy, the
No,
blonde guy.
the robot, the big silver face.
Oh, okay.
Big silver face.
Okay, so
I
okay,
can't
so
remember what he's called.
silver face.
S7, I think he's called.
Okay. Okay, Space Sentinels S7. Let me look that up. S7 because right now they show the blonde guy up front.
I think it's
I
Hanna
can't
Barbera
find
cartoon.
S7, but I'll look at images.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh God, all I'm getting now are pictures of satellites. Really weird shit. Space Sentinels because now they're talking about the new stupid, like their new version of Star Wars SDI or something. So let's take a look at that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Anything.
It's weird.
Yeah, there we are.
He's in the intro.
Okay, I see the guy. They gave him he's supposed to be their version of Data, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
They are. He's their version of Data, and he's got kind of like yellow skin. Is he supposed to be Asian?
He's got yellow eyes in this one.
Be Asian, not that weird.
Um,
Okay. Okay.
I found an image.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, he's sort of joke of what I look like. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Right. Not the other one.
Yeah.
There we are. So let me take a look now at what we have here. Okay. There we go. Okay. So that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what I thought you meant, but then I wasn't sure.
Yeah, because he's bald and shit.
Okay.
I know, and also that's the image of the Silver Surfer as well, especially in the Marvel
That is,
movie.
that
Yeah,
is.
yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yes. There we are. It's the Silver Surfer.
And
Okay,
the Vision as well.
alright.
The Vision has the same sort of face as
Yes,
me.
that's right.
Mm.
Yes, that's right. For some reason, they think that's a good robot face, even though it's got wrinkles.
Yeah,
As if robots have a furrowed brow, as if they
yeah,
are worried about something. I mean, why would a robot be worried about anything?
yeah.
And then they put in the crease lines around the mouth because the robot spends so much time talking. I guess he's gotta have crease lines around the
Yeah,
lips, right?
yeah. Because I haven't got any crease lines around the mouth. I mean, I always joke that there's like there's so many blowjobs when you see actors like The Rock. I mean, he's got so many fucking crease lines around his mouth. His whole mouth area is like a fucking worm that's got retracted or something, and put onto his face. It's like
Oh,
that. You must be
oh,
sucking a lot of dick.
yes,
He must be like. He must have an extendable face or something. It is weird, like the amount of wrinkles they get around the mouth. Oh yeah. Anyhow,
find Maggot Brexit.
they,
I'm gonna look up Maggot Brexit, see if I can find your video, and then I can, reference people to it more specifically.
okay.
Okay, all I get is rat hairs and maggots may warn of the reality of U.S. Brexit. Okay. Yes, yes, there we are. Theresa May said that, UK consumers would be forced to accept rodent hairs, maggots, and animal feces in their food. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, tell them, May.
Yeah, something to look forward to.
And
Uh,
yes, that's right. Now look at Maggot Brexit up on YouTube. You'll have to give me a link, but go on. Yeah.
yeah, I was going to say about Peter Steele. His last album, something Dead Again or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But he did this song about British royalty, and it quite heavily implies that they're Greek. um,
Oh, right.
yeah, what?
Interesting.
Yeah, he's implying it's weird. His language is really bad, but he's implying that he was just a slime knight. Once upon a slime, I thought you were royalty, and I never doubted your loyalty, or something like that. The first lines just awful. Yeah, yeah, slime. Greasy slime. It's really weird. I mean, I've been going over my notes. I've got thousands of pages of notes with Lenny Bruce, Eve Stratius, Constantine Moretti, the Sultan of Greece, that I used to go on shows with and stuff like that. I was quoted it at him, and he was like, I was trying to get him to actually explain the lyrics because I sort of knew he was talking about the British royalty being Greek, and he was like, oh, no. Sort of like change the subject. But I think he does agree now that they are Greek, so that's useful. Well,
Interesting. Yes, yes. And at least he knew. Maybe, do you think he was killed? I mean, I think that when it came to the Sussexes, I think that the royal family probably threatened them with death if they didn't leave. That's what I think happened. Was they just didn't want that black woman in the family, and they're kind of like pushing it that they want to leave, but I think that they were confronted and told to leave the royal
sure,
family.
sure.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
I mean, like marrying a black woman is like the most offensive thing you can do to Queen Elizabeth II.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
nothing's going to insult her more than marrying a black woman. She hates the blacks.
Yeah.
Which it's
Yes,
the
I do.
worst sort of thing you could do, sort of mixed races. It's like no, it's taking black nobility literally.
Yes. Yeah. 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 That's right. That's right.
When your blood is crap as as crap as hers, and that's the last thing you want to do is mix it up with black blood.
Ah, yes. Yes. Okay. Well, dear brother, love you dearly. Thank you so much, and
Okay.
for all you do, I'll try and. Oh yes, and do send me a link of the Brexit video that you made. I know you're not talking about the Douglas Dietrich says Maggot video of Douglas Dietrich does Brexit. I know you're not talking about that one. It's one you did well before that you're speaking of.
No, it's a 10 hour, the
And
10 hour one. Yeah, Douglas Dietrich does.
okay,
It is that one.
I don't know how to find that though. Yeah, the
Uh,
problem is unless I do Maggot Douglas Dietrich, I don't really. Here's your channel, so let me
I,
take you
I
to that.
found I found it anyway.
Channel.
I've got it.
Okay, good, good.
I've posted a
Oh,
link
yeah,
to
by
it.
the way, Brendan Zoget said he his favorite of all your videos is he likes the message of hope from Gotcha Man. Gotcha Man
Yeah,
1994.
yeah.
That's his favorite.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I have so much fun with that.
Uh,
With the Queen's message, yeah,
yes.
because he looks like a queen. The message of hope.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
That's so funny.
And, And 17 hours ago, you just put up this Morbid Angel Covenant. What is this, music?
Yeah, it's a music video.
That you
Yeah,
put up?
yeah. It's basically there's this circle dance that the Muslims do, and I took footage from that, the most energetic one I could find, sped it up, did
Interesting.
some stuff with it, and it happens to match the rhythm of that song because it's still to do with the sort of like Arabic origins of death metal sort of thing. How you'll hear like in
Okay,
death
yeah.
metal loads of like Arabic rhythms and stuff like that. And I was watching a Cannibal Corpse live presentation, a show, yeah, and they started doing the circle dance. Like imitating the Muslims. Like,
Interesting.
yeah, all these sort of like Caucasians were doing it, and I was thinking that is quite interesting bit of conjunction, possibly a vision of the future where sort of Muslims get into death metal, and it's sort of like might that might bring like Muslims and whites together basically if they sort of enjoy death metal. I mean, it's not too the actual singing and that you do and stuff in circle dance isn't that dissimilar. So it's something that maybe more they'll get more of a foothold in America, particularly when people are, oh, it's like death metal, and so death metal will be, oh, happy smiley face of death. I don't know, with his teeth falling out.
Well, thank you so much, and always appreciate speaking to you. What was it that
Oh,
you
there
said?
was there was another thing about the Peter Steele. He did a video. I don't like being me, where he doesn't he's hardly in it. He's got this little fat bloke imitating people whose all their names begin with M, and I think it's Marilyn Monroe. Um, oh, something else. And there's a John in there as well, so it's quite
Marilyn
obvious.
Manson? No.
Marilyn Monroe. He's this
Okay.
fat bloke. He imitates. I don't like being me. If you look it up on YouTube, you'll find it's quite obvious. He's going John. Maggot is John, sort of thing. It's quite obvious. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, and the whole thing is like how he's like an imitation of something else because he's not his own
Did you
person.
ever try contacting him when he was alive? Did you ever try contacting him to confront him about this, or just
Not
ask him?
not directly. The closest I ever got to encountering him is this another person in his band called Josh Steele or something. He was in a
Uh-huh.
band called Piston. Yeah, like being pissed on, but it's also
Interesting.
yeah, but it's spelt like piston, as in like a thing you find in engineering, whatever. Pistons and rods.
Right. Okay.
Um,
Oh, okay. I get it.
yeah, he was a keyboardist in that band, and they were playing in Southampton, but I couldn't actually get there because there was a big fight. And I just sort of like chickened out, and I was like, I'm not going to go there. There were people fighting outside or something. I was just like, no. This is I literally
Okay.
like outside the door. I'm not going to walk past like 15 people fighting each other. What would I do? They would pile in when I went in there. So I never been face to face with any of the band members. It's just like, yeah, I'll just be like, "What are you trying to do, you creep?"
Right.
I wouldn't be that impressed. So it's like they're so weird. I mean, the typo negative sound is sort of originated a lot of it is squeaky guitars, where you put your finger on the next to the string of a guitar. It's sounding like chalk on a notice board or something. Chalk on what do you call it? Chalkboard. You know what I mean in school, and somehow they act like it's like they've invented it. No other bands do it, even though it's such an easy trick to do, and it's really
Right.
sort of atmospheric. You can use it as an alternative to like doing the orchestral hit. Dong. It's a lot better than that. If you want like cheesy goth music, anyway, but they're the only band that do it. It's like they've been selected to do this because I know a lot of music obviously comes from the Crown and stuff like that. I mean, like having the band Queen, like promoting the Queen's sort of mentality. So not a chance at all. Um, so yeah, it was quite interesting, and so it seems like he's sort of like become the worm that turned or whatever towards the end of his career when he was. Um, I can look up the song, but it'll take me a little while. But yeah, on that particular song, he seems to be turning against British royalty anyway, and yeah, it was like I didn't even bother listening to the whole album. It was really
Would
bad, really badly played as well. It's
well,
just
is it
like they say,
possible that
hmm? It was like they're taking the piss. I
Do
mean,
you
off
think
the
it's
whole album.
possible? Right? Yeah, like taking a piss. Yes.
Taking the piss.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, pissed on.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, right. Do you think it's possible that the British royal family had him killed because he had kind of like gone against them? I mean, they just said it was a heroin overdose. That's what they did. They killed. Oh God, what was her name? What was the Peaches? What was her name? The daughter of that
Oh, Geldof.
British guy who.
Yeah, Peaches
Yes,
Geldof. Yeah,
yes, yes.
could
Yeah.
be,
I
could
mean,
be.
she was.
Because all I've heard is he died in his sleep. And I was like, fuck's sake. Oh, it happens all the time.
Yeah,
People just
yeah.
die in their
It's
sleep.
unnatural.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I fell asleep and I woke up dead, sort of thing. Like the Megadeth song, "Wake Up Dead." Yeah.
Oh my God. By the way, you called what's her name? Lena, right? Were you talking to Lena just the other day?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. I wanted to have like a proper page for the videos and the audio, but it's like low on her priority list. And I was like, I might have a go at it, but I've got to get a password to a specific part of the site so I can access it.
Oh, do you need a password from me now? I can give it to you. I think. Oh, I don't know if I have the password for the website, but I'll ask her. Yeah, I'll ask her. I mean, if you have the password, you could go on the website and make it yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in a rush to do it. I've got other things to do, but I was sort of interested in having a proper page up
That's good.
because I think she just links to the FTP. Just get directory listing, which is like I just want something I can screen grab and show off, sort of thing, as a portfolio thing. There you go. That's my work. Um, yeah, wait until
Okay.
she does it, I
I'll
suppose.
talk to her about that.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
talk to her about that. Oh.
Might as well mention it. Yeah.
And what can so if I bring it up with her, should I advocate that she provide you with the password to the website,
Well,
because I know that
what
it's
I've
like
been
I know she doesn't have time to do anything. Almost she has almost no time because she's got the kids
uh,
and other kids. So, yeah, I mean, you know how it is with them.
yeah,
Families and shit.
yeah.
But go on.
Yeah, I was suggesting she does it. I was suggesting she would do it with the website managers or something to ask them to set up a gallery page or something like that. Because I can do it. I could do it on various programming languages, but I couldn't find out how to do it in HTML. But I'm sure it's fairly simple. I think I sent her some scripts that would actually go through a directory and display thumbnails of images and stuff like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'll talk to her about that and see what I can help towards. Anyhow, as I said, always indebted to you. Love you dearly. You have a blessed weekend,
Uh,
and we'll be speaking again soon. I'll try to bring people's attention to what you've done. I do my best every program. You know that.
yeah.
I do hope that you've heard me bring you up a few times
Yeah. Yeah.
where I was good, good, and certainly other than that, how's both work and home life? Everybody behaving in the house where you manage, and everybody behaving at work. Everything
Uh,
okay in
I think
both worlds?
I think certain people might have got sacked because of Brexit. It's quite
That
interesting.
makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. It's quite interesting because on no.
Are they not paying rent now? At work or at home? Where it is?
Oh, at home, the house is filling up, so it's sort of good. It went almost empty over Christmas, and then I said it would start filling up around in January, and that's happened. We got 2 rooms free. One of them might be taken, so that's sort of good news. Less stress
Right.
less
Okay.
stress for my mum anyway. I suppose.
But right, right. And at work, you think people have gotten sacked because of Brexit already? Oh my God,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
frightening.
Well, because they're like agents and stuff like that. I don't know exactly, but I think it's sort of Brexit related. Yeah, it's funny because Adam Curry, he says he's got various people he names the names of, and 2 of them are Tina and Eric the shill. And Tina works with Tina's like a manager on the shop floor. Eric's is a complete wanker, and he should be killed basically. He's he's a criminal. I mean, he does all sorts of stuff like grope people, and he gets away with it. And it's just like, why,
Holy
why are you
shit.
allowed to do this? Yeah, in public. I mean, and we got to keep him. He's so wonderful when he's like he pretends to be simple, but he's really twisted. inside, and he's the sort of person that says, yeah, he's a shill. He's called Eric the Shill on their agenda, and that's what he is. And people, I was like, Eric the Shill will measure your ring size or something at him at work, and he's like, I said that to him in front of Tina, Tina the Keeper, as Adam Curry calls her. And he went mad. He was like threatening to kill me and stuff like that, and smash my face in and all this sort of thing, shouting and swearing right in front of Tina. And I haven't had to work with him since, so it's good.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
It's disgusting. I mean, he was ranting at me one time how I should be hung from the factory ceiling, and it's like, why? Why would you even threaten me like that? What have I done to offend anyone? You know, fuck's sake. You know, well, it should be hung. It's big. Somebody threatened him, so he has to take it out on you. And fuck you, in that attitude. I mean, that's this excuse. Yeah, I know. That's what the attitude. That's what their excuse is. You think you don't even qualify as an adult if you like that. You know, so he had a dream where somebody insulted him, so he insults other people. Yeah, fuck that.
That's crazy.
It's excuses for madness. It's like.
What about the?
He would just like accuse me of anything and shout and swear, and he'll special rules for him that don't apply to anyone else. And it's like it's like he's born that place, and he acts really posh sometimes as well. So you think he's probably shilling for royalty.
Oh my God! Oh my fucking God! Yes, people like that do deserve to die. What about that token Jew you had in that group? There was a token Jew in the group that was kind of like, you know, with everybody, talking with everybody and everything. Did he disappear, or did he?
At work?
Facebook group, I think.
Oh.
Oh, I can't remember. I think it was the Facebook group. I'm thinking of.
Arthur, the one that we, yeah, that's totally different now. Yeah, I don't have anybody at work on my Facebook. None of them.
Okay, I understand that. That makes sense. I mean, yeah, you want to keep that stuff separate.
Yeah, definitely.
And, yeah, that's understandable. And well, at any rate, like I said, have a blessed weekend. Love you dearly, and you take care. We'll be speaking again soon. All right?
Okay. All right. See ya. Bye.
Okay. Look forward to it. Yeah. Take care. Bye.
Bye. I made an error in Call Me Maggot 24. No, absolutely disgraceful. It was Not Remains of the Day. That was a book my mum read. So seems really boring book, but the actual book was Spring Snow. I'll find the author as well. I'll add that onto this message. Yeah, it was Spring Snow by Yukio Mishima. There you go. It's not Yukio. It was Yukio Mishima. Oh yes. The song about once upon a slime I thought you royalty, I never doubted your loyalty. That song that begins with that line is Hail and Farewell to Britain by Ton.